to get a little bit of to win a few games. Let's get a little pitching in here. Let's get a little outfield help. You know, then he started getting weird guys. I had Andy Hawkins and guys like that. But at least they were able to, to toe the line a little bit. That's what Cashman needs to do right now, only on a bigger scale. Okay?
Yeah.
He needs to get some bona fide agents, and this is the time. These aren't the other New York team that plays basketball. This is the New York Yankees. This is his moment to shore up this team while no one else in this well, not that I know of, in this division is doing the same. And let's start winning, man. Let's get past 500. We have no business being a sub-500 team. No Yankee team is a sub-500 team.
Let me get to that point real quick. Hold on. Let's bring on Kenny. He's at the stadium watching the Rangers versus Yankees and cheering on the lovable Ivanova. Kenny, what's up? How's everything at the stadium, boy?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Good night to be here. Good atmosphere at the stadium.
All right. Tell us what you're seeing right now at the game right now as far as the Yankees, Desmond getting the home run off of Nova, but the Yankees coming back getting a couple more runs, but the Rangers responding. What's your thoughts as far as right now, a little bit of back and forth right now, what you're seeing?
Yeah, Nova got off to that shaky start in the first. Gave up a couple of hard hit balls. Gave up only one run. Settled down in the second. Gave up another run in the third. And now he's got himself in trouble, but just got a big strikeout. Neutrinos. So we're going to see if he can escape this with no damage, actually. That would be huge.
Really? Okay.
The base is still loaded.
Base is still loaded. Sin Chu-Chu's at the plate right now.
God.
I don't know.
Oh, boy.
So, because this is the mental part we've been talking about. I mean, Nova's location has been a little spotty with the bases loaded. Kenny, we kind of talked about an ad right before you got on. I just asked a question, and maybe I could throw this question at Av and then go to Kenny and then go to Chris.
Okay.
Just the starters, Knickerbocker Av, just the starters on the mental capacity. Is it fair to say that CC Sabathia is probably the highest ranked starting pitcher mentally out of the guys, and the Tanaka then CC? What order would you put them in?
I would put CC at number 1, and then a bunch of guys tied for 3rd and 4th. Because really, you would probably give Eovaldi number 2, but Eovaldi is having such a hard time the last 3 outings. But I mean, you could almost forgive him for that because he was so effective early on in the season. So we'll go with that. Okay, so I'll give him number 2. 3 will be Tanaka, because Tanaka does give up a home run almost per game. And they seem to happen, in misopportune times. And then after that, I mean, if it's a toss-up between Nova and whoever the number 5 starter is, because since it kind of flip-flops every other day, and it just sucks. It just sucks if you're a Yankee fan. You're looking at CC, even though that's what you paid him for. That's what we brought him here for. And back in 2009, was to be the horse, to be the ace. And now, at his age, at his point of his career, he's almost winding down, and he's the ace again. We were thinking of him as a number 5 or a number 4 starter, and now he's back to being the number 1 at his age. That's just how sad that.
That's an indictment of Cashman right there.
Yeah. Kenny, can you hear us out there? I saw the big strikeout. What's your thoughts right now as far as the big strikeout and trying to get out of the journey?
No, he didn't get out of there. That was a Sin Chu-Chu single up the gut, scoring 2.
Oh, I got the delay. I just saw the strikeout before that. Oh, shoot. I didn't get that part. Oh, okay. What happened on
we lost the lead right there. Just left the fastball up in the zone, it looks like. Sitting far away, but it looked like it was right down the pipe. Drilled it back up the gut for 2 RBI.
It was by Chu?
Yeah, Sin Chu-Chu, yep.
Yeah. I just saw it. Damn. I just see what
here we go again.
Nova's been struggling with runners on as of late, and this is no exception. That's
Can you fill us in with that too, with the starters, as far as mentally? How would you rank them, and how confident are you in the guys that you have lower ranked? Let's say maybe it's a Nova, or maybe it's a Valdi or somebody like that. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable with CC. I agree with Av on that one. Again, Tanaka and Evaldi are about on the same level for me. Maybe I feel a little better about Tanaka just because I feel that he can, on a given night, probably go a little deeper into a game than Evaldi. Evaldi always struggles getting out of that fifth or sixth inning. And then Pineda and Nova are pretty equal in my mind. Both are capable of having good starts, but neither of them do it with any real regularity or consistency. So yeah, CC, then Tanaka, Evaldi, then Pineda, and Nova would probably be my ranking.
Yeah.
Chris, they have the similar responses as we do.
I know.
Man. I mean, I don't think it was rocket science to begin with, but it kind of bothers me when the Yankees have a lead and we give up a run, we get a run back to get the lead, and now Nova gives up the lead. This is up and down, Chris. So, he's only a spot starter, really. So, what are
I know you and I were talking one time. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I do remember we were discussing the fact that Tanaka. I don't know if it was you or me. I don't know which one of us said it, Steve, but we pointed out the fact that Tanaka on the Mets would be a spot starter. This is how bad this roster is depleted. Okay, in terms of performance. And I said to myself, this is maybe a month ago, I don't know. And I just can't rank him. I agree with the fellas. I can't rank him as our number one guy. It's all about straight. Look, we have no Max Scherzer here. There's no Verlander. There's no Dallas. What's his name? This is just really. We are what we are, man. There's no. CC has no business being the quote unquote guy at this point, but thank God he is. Because he has been consistent, man. He's 3-2 his last 7 games. He's got 38 strikeouts in 41 innings. That's very CC-ish. He's towing the line because we cannot. Av put it correctly. He's the spot. He is our ace, and then we got a whole bunch of other guys behind him. That's exactly how
they're putting the pressure on him. They're putting on the pressure on Nova. I don't know if he's still true. Just a little delay. He stole the second, but I want to say this. I say it like this with the Yankees. I saw. I didn't bring it up last week. I should have. But with the inability of the starting pitching and the bats, I mean the bats in every major statistical category was no higher than 10th in the American League. I'm talking about the bats. Yeah. I'm talking about batting average, RBIs, and hits and slugging. And it was no higher than 10th in every major category. You go to the starting pitching, it was just as bad, if not worse, as far as your ERA, your runs, hits against. But the Yankees, what they do good is, they don't really walk too many people. But that's not saying much when you're doing everything else bad with this team. And it's just about surviving, man, because it was really disappointing when I wanted to get back to what you guys, as far as I said, through those 11 games with the Rockies and the Twins, you couldn't get out of there no more than 2 losses, and that was real disappointing, especially not getting the sweep versus Minnesota.
Right.
And it's a race where if you could get back, you could have sliced this lead in half, kept yourself in decent distance for the division. But I don't know, man. I don't see this is going. I mean, in another month from now, we're talking trades, guys. I really believe that. Kenny, anything else you want to add from the stadium, real quick?
What's that? Sorry.
Anything else you'd like to add from the stadium from what you're seeing right now in the inning?
Well, I'm just hoping that
they're out of the inning.
Put something together. Yeah, they're out of the inning. I'm just hoping the offense can put something together again against Chichi here. They've shown they can hit him pretty hard. And I got to pounce in just a minute, but one thing I'd like to say is that I'm very impressed with Mark Teixeira right now. The way he's come back from his injury,
Yeah.
together a bunch of good at bats. He got a nice line drive, base hit up the gut to start off his night tonight. Another good piece of hitting in his second at bat. So hopefully he can keep it going and start to really produce for this team. Something we haven't seen that much from him this season.
All right, that's Kenny, man. New York Yankees talk from Yankee Stadium. Thank you very much, Kenny. We'll definitely talk to you next week, sir. Enjoy the game and hope you get a win.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy the game, sir. Take care.
And from Miss Knickerbocker, anything else you'd like to add as far as what happened in the series versus the Rockies? I know what. Let me go back to the game with Castro winning the game at the night. I thought that was one fun game to watch. Still, I mean, sometimes it's one of those games you want to say, you know what, screw whatever the stat, screw the what we're doing. Sometimes it's good to see old school sailing baseball back and forth. The Yankees go up 4-0, give up a lead, and lose the lead, and get the lead, get tied the game, and winning at the bottom of the ninth. But what was your thoughts on that game versus the Rockies last week? We didn't get the chance to talk on it.
Well, that game on Wednesday night was kind of similar to my softball game that I had yesterday. We lost 11-10. We lost, and it was pretty similar. We had a heavy lead, and the other team just kept on chipping away. They weren't hitting the ball very well in the first couple innings, but then they started to see the ball. They started to, do smart base running, play their defense, and they ended up winning it, in the bottom inning. Yeah, you're right. Those games every now and then are always fun to watch. Because it's exactly like going to Broadway, where there's a beginning, there's a climax, there's a letdown, and then there's a happy ending at the end.
Yep.
And I was happy to see that Yankee fans got to go home knowing that they watched a great game, and they get to go home happy because the home team did win, and and they started inching closer towards 500. But then, but I mean, come on, the night before, losing 8-4. There was some hitting, but the pitching was just horrible. I mean, Nova just couldn't get out of the fourth, and then then the bullpen just really didn't have anything for it. It's kind of sad that the bullpen is really just that big three-headed monster, and then aside from that, aside from Miller, Chapman, and Betances, there's nothing to that bullpen that really you can look at him and say, there's a stopper. There's a guy who can hold up the fort. There's a guy. I mean, yes. So Swarzak got an inning and got 3 strikeouts. The Yates did the same thing. But those are at that point you're just stopping the bleeding, and you're putting a Band-Aid on it. And by then it was already too late. The bats never came back. And then just in Minnesota, that's just a whole other debacle. I mean. Yeah, we won 5-3 on Friday. We won 2-1 on Saturday, but then getting literally smacked in the mouth on Sunday. To a bad team at that. So
people don't the point.
It's like you don't understand. It's like if you don't follow baseball like regularly, if you're just a casual fan, do yourself a favor. Go onto the website and look at their freaking record. They're like 25 games under 500, and they beat us 7-1. Now, given yes, we can't win them all, but we should sweep these guys. We should
you ain't lying.
On the floor with them.
I totally agree.
Especially when you had one of your best pitchers, one of your most consistent pitchers, Nathan Eovaldi, and he just could not. He could not hold on stop the bleeding. The bats did not show up whatsoever. I mean, they only pulled out 2 hits the whole game, and that's just what we're talking about in terms of the inconsistency and the frustration of why we're why we're looking at Cash. Why I'm looking at Cashman and saying, I think you're lying to me. I feel like I'm being duped. And the StubHub thing, it's just another way for you to take more money out of my wallet.
Yep.
I'm not happy with that.
Nope. Nerve.
Nope, he's right.
The gall, the unmitigated gall.
Well, I know the unmitigated gall. Look. All right. What was it? You was talking about the Rockies game last week, Steve? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what was your thoughts as far as that comeback?
Well, I was very impressed with a couple of things. Well, let me tell you what I was impressed with. I loved the Beltran home run. I saw that, I said, okay, this is really, really going to propel us somewhere. And sure enough, later on, as you know, Chapman came out and he shut him down at the top of the ninth. And see, with Castro, excuse me, when Castro hit that walk-off, right, I said to myself, all right, look how they're cheering. Look at the enthusiasm at the plate. You know, we was down by 4 runs in the seventh, and we turned it around, and we came out and did this. Okay, that's going to propel us. We're going to go on a tear now. I mean, after all, we got the Twins this weekend. There's no way we can fall from here. We're gonna strive from here. I'm just doing a lot of wishful thinking, man. But I'm gonna tell you what concerned me in that very same game when CeCe slipped. You know, now that was, you know, of course he was already having a bad outing. Okay, they must have got him for about 6 runs, and he couldn't go 5 complete innings. But when he slipped, I don't know if you guys remember it. He slipped. But he stayed in the game to just face one more batter. I said, here we go again. And then the Yanks turned that around. I thought that was going to be something that we could work with. But, yeah, and then we did win the first 2 games against the Twins. But then when you start – the way they looked yesterday, you know, it was a reminder that nothing has really, really changed. And I'm hoping that they can hold it this tonight, so that they can continue to do what they're doing. Because I still, in some ways, Steve and Knickerbocker Ave, I cannot believe this team is playing 500 ball. I can't.
Whoa, wait. Again, yeah, that I was gonna say. Why? I mean, it's insanity, right? I mean, it's almost pretty much the same team as the last 2 seasons. So, what would make this year any different?
Well, because we can't pitch worth a goddamn on starters, rather. We haven't had. Let's compare last year up until this point to now. So the starting pitching, definitely down, right? It looks the same. And what about you? What's your thoughts? Is it same or is it better, down? What's your thoughts up until this point?
It's actually it was worse than last year, because at least last year,
you're probably right.
At least last year the pitching was somewhat appropriate.
Bearable.
Bearable. It was mediocre at best, and it was, and you could basically just say it was all the injuries and the lack of bats. But this year, there really isn't that many. I mean, aside from Teixeira and of course all the injuries to first base, where is there really a lot of injuries? And yeah, I know A-Rod missed a couple of games here and there, but there really is. I mean, Beltran's been healthy. McCann's been healthy.
All right, hold on, man. Hold on. I'm gonna get back to you. Hold on, man. Hold on. I agree with Chris. I think the starting pitch is definitely down at this point than what it was last year. Now, Chris, let me go back to you. What about the bats? I would definitely say it's definitely down. And now last year was even something to cheer about.
They are.
Because the Yankees was pretty much a slugging home run. It's either home run or bust for those guys. And now when the home run's not working, because they're like 11th or 12th in the league in home runs.
I'll co-sign on that. Yeah.
What about you?
It's better last year.
The bats are worse this year than they were last year, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's go to Chris, real quick. Then the bullpen. Is it better last year, or is it better this year, or is it even? What your thoughts?
I think it's better this year, but there isn't a definitive analysis on it yet because we haven't swung into the pennant race area. But I'm going to go with better this year.
What about you?
Probably better, just on the count of the three-headed monster. That's about it.
I would say. Go ahead. Hurry up.
I mean, anybody before that is kind of shaky to me. And last year,
to me,
you had more.
To me, I think the pen last year was actually better. Betances was a lot better effective last year than what it is this year. I think Miller is still Miller. I mean, I think we have more potential with this bullpen, but it's hard to get to the bullpen if we can't get a lead. That's the only issue. That's the kind of the caveat to it. But Chris, you had a point. Then we go back to Knickerbocker Ave. You want to finish your point, Chris, and then we go back to Ave.
I don't remember my point. I was listening to Knickerbocker Ave.
Oh, okay.
No,
well, let me ask Ave real quick. So Ave, I'm looking at the whole Major League Baseball. I mean, it's not just us. I'm looking at teams like Chicago who struggled, the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago White Sox who got off to a hot start and they cooled off. Teams like Cleveland and Kansas City picked up the pace. I saw the Washington Nationals struggle, the Mets struggle. I mean, are we overreacting because it's our team, the Yankees? Do you think we'll hit our stride because we see other teams who actually dominated baseball kind of take a couple steps back right now in June, heading into the fourth weekend? What's your thoughts?
I don't think we're overreacting, and I think the main reason I can say that with all definitive and everything is that you look at one team in particular that's been dominant for this entire time and been more or less consistent and been a contender, and I look at the St. Louis Cardinals. They're still one of the main – I mean, you do not talk about the NL Central talking about them. You used to say that the same thing about the Yankees in the AL East. You used to say that about the Braves in the NL East. You can't say that about neither one of those teams, but you can still say that about the Cardinals. They are still the force in that division. Basically, if the Cubs want it, they have to get it through them. And until something changes, that's exactly what's going to happen. In order for them to get anywhere, they have to go through.
So you think St. Louis is going to catch the Cubs?
I think that the Cubs are going to run into the St. Louis Cardinals in the playoffs because if
okay, that's different talk. That's a different kind of talk. Okay, so you're saying Cubs are going to win the division right now at this point?
At this point, I think they'll win the division, but the Cardinals are going to make it interesting by the middle. I'd say by mid-August, they'll make it interesting. They'll definitely be my pick to be one of the wild card teams. I don't think that anyone can really stop them. So they're gonna run right into the Chicago Cubs in the division series, and then that's going to be a dogfight. That's going to probably be the most interesting series of the entire. If everything stays the way it is, that's going to be the series to watch. St. Louis, Chicago, division series, unless something else happens where they end up in the championship series. But as it stands, division series, that's the one to watch.
Chris, what about you, man? What's your thoughts as far as what about the Yankees? I mean, I asked Avi if we overreacting. Are we overreacting because it's the Yankees? Because I see all the other teams in Major League Baseball that actually played well take a couple steps back, a couple losing streaks with the top teams. But what's your thoughts? Or you think we're pretty much dead on with what we're seeing out of this squad headed into July?
That's a multifaceted question for me because I think. You know what? Actually, you triggered my thinking here, Steve. When you asked me, is this the same club as last year in different facets? It's the very same club, and we managed to go to the just at the end of the regular season before we just couldn't make it. We kind of limped near the end, right there, and we weren't out of it until we were out of it at the very end of the season last year. I don't know, despite our 500 record, if this team has the same intestinal fortitude. I know our bullpen does, but I really do not see, and probably our outfield, certain parts there, but I don't see where we have that bite, drive, grit, determination, whatever you want to call it, to get angry unless we add a few pieces here. I don't see it. And what's really bothering me also, Knickerbocker Ave, is I cannot stand the Chicago Cubs. But I got to tell you, if you got to be honest with yourself and stop playing games and beat around the bush and put down your personal prejudices or whatever you do, you got to admit, they have that swagger that we want. They have that energy. They have that personality and determination as a unit to just take this thing to the end and smack everyone upside the head with it. They're really, really good. And I was hoping that that's what I would see out of this club. As recently as 2010, when I said, okay, they're going to no, maybe not a little couple. Let's come up a little bit. But about 2013, I said, we won't stay down for long. We're going to keep it up. We're going to add some new pieces, and we're going to rev this thing up. And it hasn't happened. So that's what happened. That's what it is.
Okay. We have to wrap up. Av, real quick, give us about 30 seconds how we can find all your information, your final thoughts on the Yankees, and go to Chris.
As always, at Knickerbocker Ave, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where we're still talking about the upcoming free agency in the NBA. A lot of great talks we're going to have about that on Wednesday with a certain Durantula warning going out there. But the Yankees, Cashman, you need to stop lying to me. Just stop bullshitting me, man. That's all I want. Stop lying to me and tell me that we're going to be sellers come July 31st. Because if not, I'm gonna. I'm sorry. Just don't lie to me anymore. Damn it.
All right, Chris. I can't even tell if he was talking about Cashman or Phil Jackson when he said that. Chris, your final thoughts?
Both of them. He was talking about both of them. I know how he feels. I was at his high school today, man, and I was feeling really good. I got my Brooklyn swagger in, so I know exactly how he feels. So, look, we're not in trouble yet, but we're not doing anything, and it's getting really, really frustrating.
Well, let me throw a little bit of optimism into it, though. Let me just be a little bit optimistic. The Yankees, if they were to still keep their 500 pace, they're closer to more so a wild card spot than anything. I mean, they got to find a way to get past Toronto. They were a lot closer to Toronto now than they were a week or two ago. They're more further away from last place than they are third and second. I'll give them that. But to me, I mean, they should have capitalized on the Rockies and the Twins. Because this is a series where I think with the Rangers, I think they could split. I don't know if we're going to see, 3 out of 4.
Well, it's 4 games. It's 4 games. We could do
I think it's going to be split 2-2, man. I don't see. We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
For Knickerbocker Ave and Chris, myself, Bleed Blue Show, BleedBlueShow.com, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, iTunes, Podcast Republic, tune in your Stitcher apps, Yankees baseball, the Dugout. Other than that, Sangre Azul, Bleed Blue.
Bleed
Can
Blue.
you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Bleed blue, 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 bleed.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything! There's always a reason to celebrate. Weddings, quinceañeras, or just because I love you. Now, for a limited time, switch to AT&T and buy 2 Samsung Galaxy S7s for one great price. Visit your nearest AT&T store today. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Limited time offers. Each line requires eligible port-in, trade-in, purchase, and service. Get minimum of $10 trade-in credit plus prepaid card in amount of device balance or early termination fee less trade-in. Fees, charges, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Adding the choice of a crispy chicken BLT to Wendy's 4 for $4 is the biggest thing since rappers trying to sing.
I got me a yacht and I sound like a robot.
But do you like the sound of this? Wendy's 4 for $4 now comes with a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT.
From Detroit to Macon, I keep it crisp like bacon.
Both are topped with crispy applewood smoked bacon and come with 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke for just $4.
Oh, yeah.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time, meal includes small fries and a drink. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Adding the choice of a crispy chicken BLT to Wendy's 4 for $4 is the biggest thing since rappers trying to sing.
I got me a yacht and I sound like a robot.
But do you like the sound of this? Wendy's 4 for $4 now comes with a choice of a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger or a Crispy Chicken BLT.
From Detroit to Macon, I keep it crisp like bacon.
Both are topped with crispy Applewood smoked bacon and come with 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke for just $4.
Oh, yeah.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time. Meal includes small fries and a drink. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii.